These Gen Zers aren't lining up for social media's hottest slice. They're going viral for a new hotspot, church.
Come to church with me and 300 other Gen Z Catholics.
Everyone's talking about it. Young adults are re-engaging in the faith.
On most days, you'll find Archbishop Ronald Hicks in New York's St. Patrick's Cathedral, where he leads the Archdiocese of New York, and it's more than 2 million Catholics.
I wonder if you see what the church offers them, or maybe what the secular world is sort of failing them.
Many of them feel that the world around them is somewhat broken. They're looking for some truth and some community and something to ground them.
When I'm here at St. Pat's, I feel
We
a
walk
sense
the sacred
that
aisles of the
event.
cathedral, discussing the resurgence of Catholic faith.
You see a living faith. You
Right.
see people practicing and worshiping here, and that adds to the life, to the beauty of it.
You want them to go home and be so inspired by their experience here.
I want them to leave here and then put that faith into action.
And Gen Z is doing just that. Congregations across the country reporting 20-somethings attending church more regularly than millennials, Gen X, or baby boomers. And a recent study reports 42% of young men now saying religion is very important to them, up sharply from 28% 3 years ago.
I believe in the Holy Spirit.
Two friends in their 20s, Anthony Gross and Kate DiPietro, met at church in New York City. They started Pizza to Pews,
Lord Jesus, thank you so much for another wonderful Sunday at Pizza to Pews.
an informal gathering of young professionals before Mass to grab a slice, socialize, and go to church together.
Church, church, church.
Their group recently making Mass at St. Joseph's Church nearby, standing room only.
So there is not a seat in this church.
6 p.m. Mass on a Sunday, everybody came alone. We should throw an event for the church, and sooner or later you had this parade of young adults marching up 6th Avenue to come to 6 p.m. Mass.
If you're wondering why there's so many people walking up 6th Avenue, it's because we're all going to Mass.
Were you like, what is causing this? This must be some good pizza. Or is this about getting them back into church, and is it about faith?
The beautiful thing about the Catholic faith is it has stayed very, very traditional and pretty much the same. And that gives people a sense of purpose and groundedness in their faith.
Did you fall away from the church in college?
I fell away from it in college, but I always grew up Catholic, and Kate and Anthony have kind of been the role models. It's cool to come back to faith, and have really showed that.
It's cool to be Catholic, I guess. Right?
Cool to be Catholic.
The world's turning back to God, and Gen Z's at the head of it.
Their social media posts have attracted the seekers, a generation raised on their phones, impacted by COVID, and craving meaningful connections.
It fits the spirit of the times. We're in a
I'm
social
gonna play a Harry
media age.
Styles song right now.
I love that
what
song,
song is that?
Sign of the Times.
Sign of the Times. People watching this might see a bunch of, young people who are single, and this sounds like just a hookup thing. This sounds just like, how much of this is really about something deeper than just finding a partner?
The dating aspect can be looked at as this is just a hookup, as you said. Getting married is also part of our faith. I mean, we talk about it's one of our sacraments.
It was refreshing to see a bunch of young people your age attend Mass.
Right, you feel like you're in a rave, or like, where else do you walk in and see young people
Exactly.
enjoying themselves? Were you curious about the Archbishop of New York and how he felt about this? I spoke to him.
Yes, please.
What
do you say?
Fully signed off on Pizza to Pews.
He loves it?
He loves it.
That's amazing.
I can imagine that part of the church might think that the technology today and social media might be a deterrent for the sort of traditional faiths of Catholicism.
If their peers in social media are encouraging, saying, hey, we've gone back to church. We're finding some happiness, some peace, some meaning in life. Come join us. That goes a long way.
Do you think in 10 years we'll look back on this moment as more of a spiritual awakening, more than just a small moment in time?
Society has attracted young people to the church. It's working. And my hope and prayer is that that continues to grow.
Man. How about that? By the way, I want to give a shout out to Father Jonah. He allowed us to take our cameras into that beautiful church, St. Joe's. And
you know what's interesting is that we're in this time of kind of division and people looking for unity. And this happened back in the late 60s and early 70s, growing up Catholic. They started, during the Vietnam War and stuff, they started having folk masses, hootenanny masses as they would call them, to try to bring young people back in. And it worked, and we've moved away from that. But it's great to see it happening again. I think everybody's looking for that connection.
well, look, I think also, but not just everybody, but we all have kids. It's something really refreshing about seeing just young people. And by the way, you could almost extract Catholicism and put in your own faith there.
Sure.
It seems to be in the earth. There's a pull, but this is almost good versus evil. And just that's a lot of goodness.
Yeah.
And it could be young people walking into a synagogue or a church or a mosque or whatever it is, but they're seeking for something higher than the immediacy that technology is putting in front of their faces. And that just feels good for us older folks to feel like, you know, maybe this is a great direction.
It was also refreshing to hear a number of those young people say something that struck me, because we all have introduced our children to faith at an early age. Even if you go off to college and you veer off the path and you leave the church for a while,
Never too late.
You come back because the seed has been planted.
If the pizza's good enough, Mr. Melvin, that's right. You'll come back. Remember when Jesus changed paper into pizza?
I think it was different. It was different.
That'd be the modern incarnation.
A little different.
That's a great story.
Thank you.
Great story. I see why you almost went into the
seminary.
priesthood. I see why now.
And then you discovered girls.
Girls absolutely hired me.
I was thinking of the same thing.
The priesthood or TRL?
All righty.
Shout out to Yael, our producer, by the way. That just looks stunning. So thank you.
Hey, thanks for watching. And don't forget, you can catch the Today Show every morning on NBC or take Today when you're on the go. Just follow the Today podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen.